Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the TEQ Furious Last Resort Vegeta Giant Ape and how good he is in Dokkan after his Extreme Z Awakening. It's important to note that my Vegeta, although not Rainbow, does have 3 dupes, so he's pretty much holding very high level stats. He is a Inhuman Deeds or Giant Ape Power category lead of Key plus 4, HP attack and defense of 170%, greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn whilst causing colossal damage to the enemy, and greatly raises defense for 1 turn while causing mega colossal damage to all enemies, an AoE attacker on his 18 key. In terms of his passive in his non-Giant Ape form, he will activate an entrance animation when there's an enemy whose name includes Goku, and this will give him key 3 up and attack of 100% permanently. It's important to note that should this activate, regardless of if he continues facing a Goku, that damage will count. So basically they are going to essentially hold that damage forever as long as he started out against a Goku. His basic effects are Key plus 3, attack and defense of 200%, damage reduction of 20%, and receiving an additional Key plus 1 per key sphere, which he desperately needed. He guards all attacks, and when attacking with 12 or more key, has attack and defense of 160%. When attacking with 18 or more key, he has defense of 160%. After guard is active, he will have Key plus 3, attack and defense of 60% for 3 turns. As the first attacker in the turn, he will have defense of 60%, damage reduction of 40%. As the second or third attacker in the turn, he will have attack of about 60% and launch an additional great chance of having a super attack. And when attacking with 24 key, he has attacks that are effective against all types. Same Warrior Race, Royal Lineage over 9000, Transform, Sand Roll, Sharing the Limit, and Legendary Power are his link sets. And he's on quite a few categories: Accelerate Battle, Battle of Fate, Dragon Ball Seekers, Final Trump Card, Giant Ape Power, Giant Form, Gifted Warriors, Inhuman Deeds, Planetary Destruction, Pure Sands, etc. In terms of his hidden potential build, he does have exclusive orbs, which can be obtained from the Annie battle. These are pretty good and give him a lot of raw defensive stat. We're talking like over 1000, which is quite a significant chunk for him. He also gets quite a bit of crits and quite a bit of evasion and additional. In terms of his build, I would say, for me, not a huge fan of evasion on units that need to be hit. I think I would prefer to capitalize on additionals with him. This allows him to benefit from his attacks effective against all types, as well as also allowing him to stack, well, not stack defense, but stack as much attack as possible, and, well, just basically boost his defense, like after super boost himself. He only gets an additional if he's in the second or third slot, so realistically, to maximize his full offensive capabilities, you have to be willing to place him in the second slot, whereas if you want to maximize his defense, obviously first slot would be priority. With a guard and 60% damage reduction and all of his multiplicative defenses is enough for him, we're going to have to see. So yeah, overall, look, I'm going to be honest with you, I think his offense is far too conditional to be that worried about it. Not that it's bad, but I mean, you need to face a Goku and have him be in the second slot, both of which is just really not what you want to do with him. Not that you don't want to face a Goku, I mean, that just happens when it happens, but that's how you get like these 35, 36, 37 million attack stats. It's just not really like how you want to use them. Obviously, I'm not saying he's an outright first slot tank. His start turn defense is about 370,000 with 60% damage reduction and guard. That does account for a lot because, for example, like if it's a 3 million super, so you get the added benefit of the guard, which obviously reduces it further. So it goes from like 2.7 million to 1.35, divided by another 60%, and then you get 40% of the 1.35. So like a 3 million super will hit him for like 300k. And that's not accounting for his defense that he gains after super. So he is pretty good. It's just more kind of saying like, I think his offense is not really the focal point for me. For me, the point was whether he was solid defensively and whether he could solve his key issues And I think they have somewhat achieved that. I think he is a good first slot tank when you consider also that his team, or at least for me, the team that he was meant to boost, Giant Ape Power, has a unit that gives a 2-turn 45% buff. And this is actually crucial because it is going to massively impact how good he is. For example, him lined up with a Goku with another 10% damage reduction, an SS4 Goku, and you're running 2 multiple turn 44% attack and defense supports. That is huge. Like, Vegeta is going to be very tanky at that point. So for me, it's not such an issue. Like, for me, I think he's going to be really good. His damage reduction rate will be 70% as the first attacker with that Goku on support line once he's transformed, and that's really good. So for me, there's definitely good scope for Vegeta. I think he's come to do good work on the team that exists. So I have no issues with Vegeta. I think he is very, very solid. What I would like to say is that the giant form especially feels very, very good. So the giant form is actually really solid, greatly raising attack, massively raising attack, on his 18 key, guaranteed crits, and some really beefy attack stats. So I think the giant ape form for me is also a very good success. The only issue I have with the giant ape form is that 40% health seems very low. I know they've made it very strong because of that. I mean, it can hit like 20 million attack stats and, you know, crit everything and all that stuff. Like, I do completely understand that it's an incredibly good giant form, and I'm very happy about that. I think they could have just made it 50%. I don't know if 4 as a number has relevance to Vegeta. Sometimes they do that with things. That's why you see the numbers 59, 58 a lot with, you know, Goku, Gohan, Goten. You know, it's why you see those type of numbers kind of shuffling around. But I don't think 4 has anything to do with Vegeta, at least not on the top of my head. So I think for me, they could have just, you know, eased up a little bit. Just said, hey, listen, let's make it 50%. Give Vegeta a little bit of that leeway to really kind of push his capabilities in his giant form. The only issue I actually have with Vegeta, because I think his defense is fine, I think his conditional attack is okay, it's whatever, and I think the giant form health condition is not a big thing. For me, the only thing about Vegeta is that he has no key links. So you are very reliant on those orbs. Obviously the key +1 does help him out a lot, but he unfortunately does not have he doesn't have good key links. Like, for the teams you want to use him on, like, you probably want to use him on Giant Ape Power, Pure Saiyans, you know, things like that. He's not got good key links because he's not prepared for battle. So it's a huge issue when he's trying to link up with the hybrid Saiyans or Saiyans. He does have Saiyan Raw, and that's probably as much as you need for the Giant Ape Power team, so you can make it work. It's just a shame that he doesn't have that prepared for battle, but really, really good.